Hi, and welcome back to the next episode. Today we're just going to go over really just European football, just Champions League, Europa Conference, and then finally some intercity updates. Um,
As
so
always.
why don't we start from the bottom of the food chain and work up? We can start with the Conference League real quick. Um,
hmm
I'm going to be honest, I only saw the highlights for the Conference League, um, and I just
I
thought
didn't
it's
even see that.
yeah, fair enough. So the only game I can give updates on is the West Ham Ghent game, and it's surprising how decisively West Ham beat Ghent after being tied 1-1. It was a draw last, I believe. It's
Mm.
just how crazy how awful West Ham have been domestically, but amazing they've been internationally. It's crazy at this point.
Yeah, I think it has to do with they care about the Europa Conference League and they don't really care about the Premier League, do they?
Yeah, I mean, if they get 17th place but still win the Conference League, they're into the Europa. So
Exactly. I think that's why David Moyes has his job, right? So,
yeah, it's true. And to be honest, they're favorites to win. They're my favorite to win still, even though they've been awful domestically. Um, I
mm.
I don't know. What's your take on this, real quick, before we move on?
I mean, West Ham are going to be favorites. They're English club, so that always helps them, and they're the big name left. But I'd like to think that Fiorentina have a good chance. They've got a beat team, built team. There's some really good, really talented players. I'm not sure you're going to know any of them. The big name is Amrabat. You know about Amrabat, the
Not.
Moroccan who dominated the World
Yes,
Cup.
I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
You had to say
Luke,
Moroccan, and I got it.
Luke, yeah, Yuka Jovic,
I do
old
know
Real
who he
Madrid
is.
striker.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I know
And then
some
they've got
names
this
of
guy named
these.
Nico Gonzalez, who's really good when he's healthy.
Yeah.
And then Icone is pretty good. Icone,
Ikone.
Icone,
Ikone. I'm pretty sure it's what it's
yeah,
pronounced. So I knew some players actually.
yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah. They've got a decently built team. They come from a beautiful town. I know on our favorite podcast, Ranks FC, Jack is a big fan personally. Um, I think they'd be the biggest rival to um,
West
West
Ham.
Ham.
Yeah.
In the league, they're in 10th, but they're only in 10th due to. Actually, no, they would have been 10th anyways. They're in 10th, but, they're having a decent season, I think. I think
Yeah.
they've got a chance. But yeah, and no one, unfortunately, not a lot of people care about the Europa Conference League. I give it 4, 5, 6 years, and people will actually take it seriously,
Oh yeah.
like how it took with the Europa League. It just took a few years.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Europa League,
hmm
you take the reign.
Um. So Manchester United again bottling it to Sevilla, who I believe is 15th place in La Liga right now.
But Sevilla always do well in the Europa League.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, United, man, how can you just keep doing that? Like, it's ridiculous at this point. Um,
It is.
but I mean, besides United and just being a disappointment again, or not disappointment, inconsistently disappointed again. Um, one of my
Mm.
favorites, personally, my favorite Italian Serie A football team, Roma, just went through again. I did see the highlights of that game as well. I saw the highlights of all the other games besides the Conference League, if I'm being honest. Um, Roma balled out, especially when Dybala came on. The crowd cheered so hard when Dybala came on, and he was the
When did he
deciding.
come on?
I believe it was like the 65th minute, and he like had like
Mm.
two contributions to like help secure the game, which was
Oh wow, they
just
scored a late goal to tie it.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was crazy. And I just gotta
incredible.
say,
But
people that watched it, this Dybala spin move near post and just bangs it in,
I gotta watch this
absolutely
after this.
crazy. But those are the highlights I would ask you to watch out of all the games we're reviewing today.
Okay.
Juve, I believe, beat. Who did Juve beat again?
Uh, Sporting,
Sporting. That's right. I mean, it
who
is
knocked out
Juve.
Arsenal.
Yeah, it is Juve. They're still a powerhouse team, even though now they're third, I guess, for the Champions League spots now because the
Yeah,
point
they got
deduction
their
got.
point deduction
Yeah, at least it
removed.
might be applied next season still. It
Mm.
was only suspended, so that is a thing. And Sporting, they're a
Oh, I didn't
great.
see that.
Yeah, it's only suspended the points deduction so far. Um,
Hmm.
Sporting is a great team, but when you play Juve, you could get smashed. And I believe they didn't get smashed, but it's
Juve
still,
don't smash teams. They just beat them 1-0, 2-0, 1-0,
yeah. And then
2-1.
just like they just play it out. It is what it is. I mean, you can't really do much about it. Sporting's a great team, but the Portuguese level can only compare to the top of the Serie A level. At the end of the day, they're just cursed. I
Mm.
feel not many people want to
I
play
just
Portugal, um, but it is what it is.
You see, they actually moved down to the seventh best league in terms of rankings. Um, Port- um, Portugal did. Eredivisie's moved up, so they're gaining a European spot. But you mentioned Juve
Oh
smashing
wow!
people in their last couple games. These are how many goals they scored: 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 4, 1. So a lot of ones. So
I mean,
they don't really
yeah.
smash.
I
They just
I
control
guess what I
games
meant
and
by that
barely
is
win.
just Juve
They're
doing
efficient.
Juve things. Yeah,
They're efficient, right?
just Juve doing Juve things is what I should say, not smash. But
Yeah.
they like score, have possession of the ball, and just do whatever at that point because they
Mm-hmm.
know they're Juve. And what was the other
Mm-hmm.
game? I am
Leverkusen.
Leverkusen. That's right. And they're playing Roma next. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Roma fan. Hope they beat them. I doubt it.
Leverkusen are masters of chaos.
I know, but I mean, if Dybala's fit and ready, and Abraham didn't even score against. Um, who did Roma just play? I am splanking all over the place right now.
Feyenoord.
Yes, Feyenoord. Abraham didn't score against Feyenoord, but he provided 2 assists. Like he played a different role. I feel like Dybala was much more that central position when they played. Abraham played as like false nine or like supporting striker, which is very interesting to see by Mourinho, but it worked. So I'm not gonna say anything about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so Leverkusen, Roma, Juventus, Sevilla, who you got winning the whole thing?
Real quick, when you were talking about Sevilla earlier, I just wanted to point out that Spurs, and I'll bring it back to Spurs. Spurs sold Eric Lamela and then paid 20 million or a deal for 20 million and Brian Gill and gave them Eric Lamela. Right now, Sevilla have both Gill and Lamela. So very stupid deal. But good to see Lamela, beating United. He's good at that.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
but my gut in Sevilla, Juve, my gut tells me to go Juve, but something about Sevilla in this tournament, man, they always show up, and I think Sevilla could somehow squeeze by. And then I'm gonna pick Roma because Mourinho usually gets it done at this end of the tournament.
True.
So that's my prediction: Sevilla, Roma. I think that'd just be a brilliant game for the neutrals. I think if Sevilla go to the final, or not Sevilla, Juve go to the final, they're boring. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna go Roma, Juve. I just think Juve is gonna beat Sevilla. I mean, I want Sevilla to go through, but I'm just gonna say
Mm,
Juve just because I just think Juve is just gonna edge it out over Sevilla,
that's
unfortunately.
that's fair.
And
All right,
a
and then
crazy Europa League Leverkusen and Sevilla. That'd be crazy to watch that.
oh, that'd be a great game. I think even Roma Labor great. I
Oh
might have to
yeah,
watch one of those
yeah. Are
after
all
work
the is the Europa
sometime.
League final on the weekend as well, just like the
Thursdays.
Champions League?
I hope it
The
is.
final is what I'm
It's
asking specifically.
checking. It's on May 31st. I can't check right now. Actually, I'll open up my calendar while we move on in a second here. It's on a Wednesday. Are you kidding me?
That is great. So it
That
looks like we're not
is.
watching the Europa League final. Um,
And the Europa Conference League Finals is on the 7th, which is also going to be a Wednesday. At
looks like we're only watching the
least the Champions League
Champions
Finals
League.
on a Saturday. Yeah.
All right,
Dang,
moving
dude.
on. Speaking
All
of,
right. Yeah.
um, so City have done it. They beat Bayern. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
surprised because Pep never seems to beat a Tuchel side. It felt in the past, but he did it.
Well, it was over after the first leg, wasn't it?
It was definitely over, but they played the first leg at City, so
Mm-hmm.
going back, it could always change, but didn't. And personally, I'm happy that City won. It's the only English team left. I don't want to support them, but I'm supporting City personally. So I'm happy they beat Bayern. Moving on to face Madrid, who I personally feel if they beat Madrid, they can beat Inter Milan. I think if they just
Same
beat
with
Madrid,
Real. They beat City.
yeah, exactly. So
I think that semifinal is so disappointing.
what, Milan and Inter
I think,
Milan?
yeah, I really wanted Napoli, man. I, Spurs, Milan barely got past Spurs. Spurs are terrible. I just think Milan are boring. I think Inter are boring. They've done well. They're not having good domestic seasons. They've done well to get this far, both of them. It's good for both of them to make this far financially, but I mean, they're just boring, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the only exciting part about AC Milan is Liao. The only fun part about Inter Milan is, I guess, Martinez. Nothing really
I was gonna say Barella.
Barella, I guess. That's nothing exciting. It feels. There's just no like you bring up both Milans, and it's just like there's nothing there. With Napoli,
Lukaku,
he's not okay. No, but you bring up
he scored a
Napoli,
brace over the weekend.
I guess. But you bring up Napoli, and it's like excitement. It's Napoli. It's the Maradona Stadium. They're winning the Serie A by a huge margin. But nothing like
Yeah.
you don't get excited over an AC Milan or Inter Milan. You know what I mean?
No, I get exactly what you mean. That's why I
Yeah,
said it's inspiring, man.
yeah.
Hey, Lukaku's got. I'm gonna pull up his stats for the season in the Champions League. 5 appearances, 3 goals in Serie A. 19 appearances, 5 goals. He's hitting form. He's scoring the win in the Champions League
Maybe Chelsea
final,
take him back,
and going back to Chelsea,
and then he doesn't
and then he
score
does
at
terrible at
all.
Chelsea again.
Exactly.
At least we all know.
Yeah.
And then I guess we can do our official prediction for Real. I mean, Real Madrid walked past Chelsea. Chelsea were out. Chelsea were done. They had Frank Lampard as coach. They already put up the flag, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but I guess this is almost your final like champions prediction. But okay, Inter Milan or AC Milan.
I'm just gonna go AC Milan. They showed a little more pride or like passion when they play. Inter, I don't know. Every time I watch them play, it's just boring. Which could win. It wins games. You know.
That's how you win games. Let me see
Yeah.
last time they played. If I can pull it up real quick. But last time they played, Inter won 1-0, and then Inter won 3-0 in the Super Coppa Italia earlier this season. And then if I keep going up, let me see if they played again. Milan won 3-2.
So I guess based on
AC.
form, Inter, or not form, but
I'm gonna pick Inter
appearances
1-0 over 2 legs.
over 2 legs, I'm predicting AC Milan 4-1.
All
That's just my
right.
guess. Yeah.
And then City Real. I'm gonna say City win the first leg like 3-1, and then they second leg is like 3-2 Real Madrid, but
Do
City
you
go
mind
through
looking up where
on.
the first home game's
Um,
gonna be?
I've got it right here.
Whoever
First
has the.
game is gonna be at the Bernabeu,
I want City to win, but I got a feeling just because first home game's at the Bernabeu, Madrid are going
and
through.
it's Real Madrid,
Yeah.
and it's Real Madrid, so they're just good.
And City don't have the same excitement as the Bernabeu, so they could have gotten that a home first
Mm.
home first game at home boost, go 3-0 up like
Yeah.
Bayern, but you go to the Bernabeu and it's Madrid at home. You're not doing anything.
So your pick is Real Madrid, Milan. My pick's Inter
Unfortunately,
City.
unfortunately, it's only because of who's at home first. That's why I'm
Mm.
gonna guess. But then, fortunately, I'm gonna say Madrid win it again. Then, if
Well,
Madrid
I'm gonna say
beats
City win
City,
it.
yeah. So
Be really funny if Inter wins it.
yeah,
Um, well, speaking of Inter and City, we can talk about my team. The combined
nice.
best interests out of both of them. Thank you. Right. We won another game. Can you believe
Oh
it? Two in a
wow.
row. 2 in a row. We played the worst team in the league this week. They have lost all of their games. Very impressive feat to do. We were good at that last year. Um, but yeah, we are now 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. We beat them 2-1. It was similar to the Lakeland game. as in we went 1-0 down. We were absolutely terrible. Had nothing to show for ourselves. Just terrible. Just terrible. Did I mention we were terrible? We just forgot how to play the game, and it was really frustrating being on the pitch. I'm not the kind of person to shout during a game, but I was shouting at everyone like, "Why are we so bad? Why are we so shit? Why is this so terrible?" Just, just screaming it. Um, but we ended up waking up a bit. We kind of got lucky with a two counterattacks, beat them 2-1, and then just kind of held up defensively. They had one goal where it was just a perfect cross. Their striker was 6'5",
That'll do
good
you.
at hitting the ball. That'll do it, especially when your center backs are like 6'1" and 6 foot. Not even probably like 5'10" and 6'1". Like you have a tall striker, just put it in there. We're a short team, but we're now mid-table. We're halfway through the season. We're in that fourth valuable spot, the playoff spot, out of 8 teams. The season's about to get harder from here. We're playing against Florida Premier. They're a top team.
How many games are there per
Finished
season?
second last year. 10.
Oh, that's very short.
So
Okay.
it is. There's like 2 seasons in a year though.
I see. I see.
But yeah, so we got to keep pushing, got to keep working. Got practice this week.
Gotta
I've
get
got
that playoff spot.
one of our left back just left, so we're looking for a fullback. So I'm trying to talk to
Sign
my
me up.
friends right now. Listen, Junior Furbo, we're good,
The junior
good mate.
Furbo that can only use his right foot as a left back. Thank you.
The Junior
I
Furbo
decline the offer.
experience. Okay, okay, good. There wasn't going to be a contract. Appreciate it, but yeah,
Yeah,
we keep growing. I didn't get assist unfortunately, but I got my own highlight reel, which I'm sure you've seen.
I did see that you
Yeah,
post.
yeah.
Yeah.
United, we are stronger. We keep building, keep getting better. It feels good to win games. It changes the morale for sure. But yeah, United, we are stronger. Vamos Inter. That's all I've got on here. And we are going to be seeing an intercity final. According to me, we'll be seeing a Milan Real Madrid final, according to you.
Yep.
So,
Completely opposites, but
yep,
it is what it is.
yep. Hey, that's good. One of us is going to look like an idiot, and the other one's not. Or
True.
we both look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, thank you for joining us once again this week. We'll be back next week. No idea what we're going to discuss, but there's a bit more going on at the weekend with some midweek games in the Premier League and weekend games, and F1 being back. I'm sure we'll be able to get quite a lot covered for next week. But yeah.
All right.
All
Yep.
right.
Bye. See you.
Deuce.